Hello and welcome to Star Wars Unlimited fans. I'm Justin with Gamers Guild USA, and welcome back to another Star Wars video. In the last couple of weeks, we covered aggro and mid-range. This week, I want to cover control with you with what I think is the most innovative deck to come out of control in Set 2, which is Palpatine Green. I like what it does, and I want to help you break it down to either play with it or play against it in your next big tournament. The deck list will be in the description below, so let's get to it. This list is brought to us from Gen Con by a player by the name of Matt Ranks. What makes Green Palpatine good? Well, first and foremost, Palpatine himself. He is a monster in the late game. If he ever gets to flip and steals a big unit, it can spell doom for your opponent. It has the most ramp options of any of the decks out there, or at least the best ramp options in the form of Resupply, Super Laser Technician, and Command. Command specifically is why you would be playing Mono Green. One thing to watch out for, just as a note for some of you newer players out there, is that when you are trying to deal damage with one of the modes from Command, it does not deal damage to unique units. And there are a lot of unique units in this game, so pay attention to that. Make sure you do not slip up. What else makes Green Palpatine good? Well, it has one of the best early drops in the entire game in the Emperor's Guard. It can come down as a 3/5 potentially with Sentinel and kind of just wreck the ground for your opponent. I think it's one of the strongest early starts that you can have in the game, paired with one of the early officials that are offered in this deck. Admiral Piet, Colonel Yularen, both really great officials early to snap before that, to gain some life, or to make your later drops better. We also have a lot of early game Sentinels to stop our opponents beyond our Emperor's Royal Guard in the form of Phase 3 Dark Trooper, Black Sun Starfighter. Just a lot more Sentinels in the game now, which is going to make it a lot harder for aggro decks and mid-range decks to push through damage with units. We also have tech. So tech, I guess let's kind of highlight tech for a moment. I know that we've talked about tech in previous videos paired with DJ to kind of steal games away from your opponent by taking away their endgame. Tech is a card that you should play in any aspect, in any deck, in your sideboard or your main deck, at least as an option, like a 1 of or a 2 of, help you go late. Just gives you more cards to work with. Really good card that I haven't seen pop up in too many decks outside of DJ, but I think it's something you should really be considering if you want to have a better chance against higher end mid-range decks and control decks out there in the meta. Other things that really make Green Palpatine good are its access to getting to the late game with the ramp and what those late game offerings are in the form of Darth Vader or Maul if you play it. Reinforcement Walker's not going anywhere. That card is excellent in almost every matchup. It can heal you. You're getting low on your health base. It can draw you more cards. Moving into Relentless and moving into Devastator, still one of the top 2 punch for punch cards that you can have at the top of your curve. Really kind of slow the game down for your opponent and their ability to play spells against you. And I mean, I don't know if you've ever experienced what it feels like to have Devastator played against you, but it will close the game out in a lot of scenarios. And if it doesn't, if it's still sticking around and your opponent plays an overwhelming barrage on that Devastator, you're definitely not keeping a board around. The cool thing that I like about this build of Green Palpatine is its use of aggressive cards or an aggressively tuned curve, as well as the late game. Notice this deck list. We don't have a lot in the middle of the range for costs. We have Overwhelming Barrage and Traitorous in favor of more units in the 5-drop slot. We are not playing any 6-drop cards in this deck. We're really just looking to leverage early aggression with late game pop. That early aggression in the form of all of the 2-drops and 1-drops you see in front of you, as well as maybe some spice in general veers. I feel like you can go up or down in the numbers of veers depending on how aggressive you want to be. Things to be thinking about with Palpatine Green. Do you have your ramp if you're playing in a slower matchup? Yes or no? Do you have healing and early stopping points for opponents if they have an aggressive draw? Do you have your Emperor's Royal Guards? Do you have your Sentinels? Do you have your Colonel Yularen to keep you healed up in the early game to get you to your late game? Do you have your Traitorous and Overwhelming Barrage to deal with their board once they have it? You haven't been able to deal with it. And really, the best thing about Palpatine Green, like I mentioned earlier, is the fact that you have Palpatine Leader himself. Really, there is a point in the game where against a lot of decks, they will just not be able to handle the swing of you playing a 7, an 8, a 9-drop, as well as stealing their biggest drop in play. It shifts the game so wildly that it just puts it so much into your favor. So if you're looking for something a little bit more off meta than the standard meta decks, and you're looking for something that still has a lot of power for your next Planetary Qualifier, give Green Palpatine a try. And that's a wrap on everything Palpatine Green and Control. Is this the deck you're going to bring to your next Planetary Qualifier? Do you even like Palpatine? Let us know in the comments below. Also, let us know if there's any content you'd like to see from us Star Wars related in the future. As always, if you need singles for your control deck, please visit us at gamersguildaz.tcgplayerpro.com. If you need booster boxes, packs, or any accessories for Star Wars stuff, please visit us at gamersguildaz.com. Thank you for watching the video, and if you would, please hit those like and subscribe buttons for us to see future Star Wars content. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you in the next one.